Hello, thank you for watching this. I want to demonstrate for you a very simple approach to regulating your nervous system, my nervous system. They're all the same. So, because we understand enough about how they work, we can understand and be creative about ways to help them to become healthier and regulated. To be regulated means to be at peace with oneself. It means to have no fear of or concern about future or past events. So let's get right to it. Here we will speak about apperception, exteroception, interoception, and behaviors. These are the four dimensions of human experience. Apperception is literally, in this usage, a memory. And also at the same time, the space within which that memory can be held. So it's even more abstract. Exteroception is simply the reception of signals coming to the body from outside of the body. Interoception are the signals that the body itself, in its own processes of being alive, generates and sends them to the brain to be interpreted. Behavior in the body is something that connects the inside and the outside. Like speaking is only possible because I breathe in air from the outside, put it into the inside, and then used it to speak. That is an example of behavior. At some point during this experiment, they will all become explicit. There's a difference between explicit and implicit. Implicit means that it exists, but it is not known to exist. Explicit means that it is known to exist. And in the cases that we will examine here, not only do they know that they exist, they know that you know that they exist. So let's get right to it. Right now, if my body is alive, then it appears it is alive. I gain evidence from interoception, the internal process of breathing and gesticulating and sensing inside, swallowing, speaking. I gain evidence from the outside. Literally, the outside of the world is the chair contacting my body. That's exteroception. The hands rubbing each other. That's also exteroception. There are behaviors, obviously, speaking, breathing, swallowing. Maybe you are listening. That's a behavior. Hearing is not really a behavior because it remains implicit. Then there is apperception. For most humans, apperception is really the world of being lost in thought about something that is not happening right now, something that happened in the past, something that may or may not happen in the future, and we live there. That is the world of apperception that most humans are aware of. Of course, it is much more subtle and beautiful and abstract and rich than this. Apperception really is the realm which permits us to be aware right now of whatever is being said or done. It has many layers. So right now, we determine that we are alive. Then our biology demands, through a process of evolution, that our body must be safe. That's simply how it is. If my body is alive, some part of the body in my genetic code is instructing me to make sure that I am safe. So we have tried unsuccessfully in our lives to assume or to deduce that we must be safe. But we must break that behavior, and this is how. We detect the external environment through initially defensive orienting. You may be in some distress right now or not, perhaps. But in either case, we engage in what is called defensive orienting. Orienting means we actually begin to engage and observe the world, the environment where the body is. Because if the body is alive, obviously it exists in some place. It is not in a void, in a vacuum. There is space. That's what allows a body to live. So is this space that my body is in right now safe? Safe means that there are no threats, not that I can hear, see, smell, taste, or detect with my skin. All of these signals are in the range of safety. And I can only ever know this by engaging directly, explicitly, consciously, intentionally with the external environment. I look at it, I listen to it, I smell it, I taste it, I sense it with my skin and joints. Noticing what it is like, and as we orient in this way to the space, we detect spaces and objects, and we observe what happens inside. So there's exteroception, signals coming from the outside, meeting the inside of the nervous system where these signals are being received. Because we are paying attention to them explicitly, intentionally, they actually stimulate our nervous system way more, a lot more. Oh yes, this place here is safe. And when it is received through interoception, what this does, this is the key. It tells a different genetic program that might have been running until now, using up a lot of energy. It's called the threat response cycle. And that is present in most humans most of the time because they are lost in what they call thought, which is really just a non-existent realm. It's not now, it's not in the future, it's not in the past, who knows where it is. We kick-start our experience right out of that into right here and right now. Wow, I am safe. Look at it. I allow myself to receive this. The threat response cycle is automatically minimized, downregulated, and I allow myself to bring that information into my face where it is known. I am knowing that I exist. If before this point there was a threat response cycle, in other words, I felt anxious or afraid for whatever reason, that can be downregulated, that can be decreased. I can become more attentive to the fact that right now I am safe. Allow my body to enter what is called the rest and digest phase of the autonomic nervous system, a parasympathetic response. And I can continue to exist here, now knowing that I am here and this now is safe. And then, even further, we can continue to regulate our nervous system. Now we can engage in what is called exploratory orienting. Exploratory orienting is another biological program that allows us as humans to engage with interest in objects outside of the body. Also inside, in fact. Curiosity, to be open, to not know what there is. And so as we look again and sense and hear and smell and taste the outside of the body, we can be open to discover something new because we didn't know it. Everything is always new. We can be regulated further by the external environment simply by looking at it, listening to it, smelling it, tasting it, feeling it. Notice the weight of the clothing on your body right now, for instance. Notice the different planes of objects in front of you. Notice the sounds from the left and from the right. and the different distances that they imply from the objects that are emitting those sounds. Notice how your face is right now. We can become dedicated and interested in the particular object that we can see or hear. There are so many perceptual objects in this space to become interested in that right now they are just becoming one kind of amalgamated, interesting experience, which we could call the experience of simply being present. And when that is allowed to explicitly stimulate the interoceptive qualities that are in our nervous system inside of the body. They generate what you might call pleasure, enjoyment. Beyond relaxation, there's a certain satisfaction at the mere fact of existing. It is nice. There are objects, they are leaning against each other, they are resting with each other, they exist, and their existence is complete. It is final. It is the last word right now. The way that room is leaning against the sofa, the way there is some litter of leaves over there, the way that cars just keep passing by, just so, like a form of repetitive rhythmic ocean, the humming of appliances, the slight movement of the trees with the wind, the fact that I am here with you right now, and perhaps you with me. If so, are you open to being known to exist by yourself? Are you open to being asked the question, are you aware that I'm aware that you exist right now? What is that like to receive that? Not to logically deduce it or think about it, to experience it. To know for yourself, I exist. And to allow that summary of experience to reach your face, to be known explicitly by you in the form of, this is exactly how I feel about myself right now. I wish you very well. Thank you for watching this.